All right. It's episode 128 of Inane Blather, the podcast where we blather inanely. We tell you all about how
awesome
we are and also how
awesome to the max
we also are. And go in fine grain detail about how
capitalism is bad.
And
mental illness is when you're right wing.
all, Ben Shapiro's fine explanations
Greatest hits
on these things, If you're one of those kind of people who just watch the news, you try, cracking open like some sort of political science book or an econ textbook, philosophy book, and you just like,
oh, how I wish I could believe or understand that.
Then this is the show for you, because we're really stupid and we will relay it to you. We won't tell you the right thing, but at the end, you will feel like you are one of the
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
I feel like I've had to do something else. I've been really stumbling over the beginning of these episodes, which is kind of funny, but that gets really old. It's 128 episodes of me just making up stupid stuff at the beginning of everyone.
Doing a great job. Yeah, the beginning and the end, that's the hard part. All the middle stuff, it's like you get on a roll, but getting on a roll and then stopping that roll,
so hard.
That makes or breaks a story, I would say.
Call me butter.
We obviously have not figured out any sort of I'm getting on a roll.
Already.
Hey, butter boy.
Ooh, yeah. That's right.
You gotta know when to roll them.
But, anyway. But, yeah.
Doug he's the real deal.
Yeah, I actually, I should probably write that down. I've been hitting up some open mics. The last comedy club I went to, though, I mean, it pretty much ended like, no, but no, I have not gone to any open
I was like,
mics.
You have? No. Where?
There is the comedy club here in town. Probably kind of fun. But so
in there,
Natalie, Danae, I don't know who wants to go first. Really quick, how was the past week? Anything new? Anything special?
I went to a clothing exchange and got a really great blazer. It's great, honestly. It's like it's really what a find.
Nice.
So that was a highlight. I've been really busy. I worked every day last week and all this kind of crap. So
boring.
Okay.
Yes. The blazer was a highlight of my week. That's how it went.
Yes.
Hey,
that's a highlight.
But it was
you
free,
thought of it immediately.
And it's a Wild Fang brand, which is really nice. I have that yellow jumpsuit that is that same brand. Yeah. It's made for lesbians or whatever. So it's like
nice. Yellow jumpsuit. Yep.
Yeah. That's Umberto's, but I wear it more often. So.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to see a picture. So.
Yeah. I'll send it now.
Or just in person.
Yeah. It was a highlight, I would say, of an otherwise low light week. Mm-hmm. And we got some snow. So that's my update.
There, yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Danae?
Mm-hmm.
Love that for you. Oh God, I hate that I started with Oh well.
Where shall I start?
No.
Right? I've had a very busy week as well.
Oh.
I had my last day, kind of my last day at the post office last week.
Really?
Which was a little bit sad because I was like, I like the people I work with.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. But now I'm
moving to bigger
full-time.
and better things.
Yeah, I'm full-time at a corporate overload once again.
Mm-hmm.
Though it's only one, I only have one boss.
You're slashing budgets, laying people off.
I'm like employee number one. So.
Foreclosing on home.
The post office will soon be a corporate entity as well. So.
I mean, it technically
really.
already is a corporate entity, but yeah. So anyway, so that's been... What?
That is enshrined in the Constitution. So
yes, indeed. So anyway, that's kind of what I've been doing. I also went on a fairly successful Tinder date on Saturday, which I was like,
nice.
impressed.
See,
because that doesn't usually
Back
happen.
in that neck of the woods? Interesting.
Yeah,
That's
I know,
interesting.
right? Had to drive an hour, but
so not in that
who
neck of the
cares?
I see. Okay, so not quite. Yeah.
Not my neck of
And
the
an hour
woods.
is
More
like 60 miles. Yeah.
Yeah. I meant like the general, like Eastern Washington
Yeah,
area.
exactly.
Yeah.
Somewhere in
The
the
entirety of
basin, yeah.
Yeah,
Hundreds
and
of thousands of acres.
it was actually like I was like, wow, this is actually a really good night because I was there for about an hour, and then someone started setting up karaoke, and I was like,
and
it's meant to be.
You killed it.
I sang Chapel Roan.
Did you do some
Put
Chapel
everyone
Roan?
on
I
team.
did. I did not kill it, but I did sing Chapel Roan.
Yeah, you did.
I'm
Danae's
sure
a great
you killed
singer.
it. Come on.
Oh, it was
Come
good.
on.
Good luck, babe. Too high. Too high.
Come on.
Fucking
Anyway.
stupid F-word bitch.
Come on, you killed it.
Next time. Next time.
Nice.
Anyway, I love
Nice.
karaoke so much.
Yeah.
I just, yeah.
Chapel Roan, of
Highlight.
course, at the Grammys.
I didn't even see it.
shouted-
I heard it was amazing.
heard as
Called
well.
out the music industry, called for better health care and livable wages, something like that. Yeah, I didn't see any of the Grammys. I truly don't give a shit about the Grammys. We
Kelsey
went on a
said it
long
was really
rant
good.
about the Grammys
Stevie
on the
Wonder
show.
performed.
What's that?
Stevie Wonder performed. At
Oh,
the
really?
Grammys. Kelsey
Oh,
said it was
really?
really good.
But I did see some clips.
But
there's that
you know.
one guy that sings that really annoying song, but he's really a pretty hot guy singer that did that leisure suit and a front flip off the piano that was pretty cool. Benson Boone, he did that.
never heard of him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I once I did that, I was like, oh, that's the name of the guy who sings that song that I've heard a billion times on the radio. Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
that was pretty cool. And I also saw the remarks
Doechii won
that,
for best rap album.
and Doechii
I saw that. Yeah, that
also
looked
had
great.
the little clip of her rolling her eyes at the really stupid joke about immigrants that Trevor Noah made. So that was nice. All I saw on Twitter was everyone's like, give her another Grammy just for that alone. Amazing eye roll caught right there on camera because she was sitting right next to him. It was great. Everyone can look that up. And then, yeah, I guess... I don't know. I just had no idea that that Cowboy Carter was that acclaimed. I have whatever. I just didn't know. I haven't really listened to it, but good for
It was up for
good-
Grammys.
It
Yeah,
won
she
best
won
album.
best country album.
No, it won best album.
Or was it just album?
Yeah. I was like,
Nice.
I did
Good
not
for
know. Okay, whatever. But
I don't-
But that's why
I
I
like
said
Beyonce a lot.
I don't care about the
but
Grammys because
That's what I feel like. It's like there's a lot of good albums out there,
Mm-hmm.
and I like Beyonce. I'm a fan. She's Queen Bee. What a performer. All this kind of stuff. There's a lot of good albums out there. You know, that's interesting. That's interesting. They're
That's
like, no, we
interesting.
swear we're not racist, guys. We got a
Yeah.
woman,
We did-
black
we
woman
did
winning the
Beyonce.
rap album. We got a black woman winning the. See, hey, Taylor Swift. What is she?
all
Huh?
of those
She
major
didn't win
awards
Best
were
Album?
won by women too, which was interesting. Was interesting, but yeah, album of the year. I mean, that's just a thing with the Grammys. They get it
What
wrong
else was up for album of the year?
constantly for the last 45 years. Constantly wrong over and over again. You just go back. If you want to just listen to seminal all-time foundational albums and you want to add to your record collection or something like that, just go and look at every album of the year like losers for the past 40 years and just add to your collection because they're all
Yeah.
fantastic. But it's like, I mean, we go back to the Inane Blather rants about To Pimp a Butterfly losing to Taylor Swift's 1989, and that says all that needs to be said about that. But
Right.
because
I'm just an ordinary blue-collar slob, but I know what I likes on TV.
But
I mean, like, honestly, but like winning it over The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess by Chapel Roan, I just
course.
feel like I haven't
It was
listened to
a-
Beyonce's album. I'm looking at the nominees right now.
mhm.
It was Andre 3000, New Blue Sun, which is like whatever. I
Wasn't
listened
popular
to
enough.
some of it. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But Beyonce, Cowboy Carter, Sabrina Carpenter, Short and Sweet, Charlie XCX, Brat, Jacob Collier, I don't know how to say this. Did Jesse, Volume 4, Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft, Chapel Roan, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, Taylor Swift, The Tortured Poets Department. I mean, she's so edgy. She's so cool. But I just think...
Last a day in the asylum they raised me in.
I just think that there's like... How do you get to be the nominated? Like we're saying,
with a few of those though, pretty stacked competition, honestly, for a Grammys category. But yeah, I'm surprised. I was like,
I can just say
Charlie XCX should have won.
Song?
That's me. But because I always think it's really cool when an album can get really popular that actually has some weird stuff on it that you that kind of surprises you. Like you listen through the whole album, it's like, oh, some of this stuff kind of gets out there. It's like this isn't just straight up pop music. Some of it gets kind of weird here and there, and I always like hearing that where it's like millions of people across America are listening to this shit. I like that. It's not Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift does not get weird on any track anywhere at any point.
Ever, on anything.
Which that's just the way that the music
the
works.
Only song
and neither does Sabrina Carpenter.
I know from Beyonce's album should disqualify her from being nominated for Album of the Year, because I feel like your album should have to be pretty much... So there's been albums like To Pimp a Butterfly that have been nominated, and it's like, from top to bottom, that's a work of motherfucking art. Like some of these.
And it has
and
some
I feel
good,
like
weird stuff.
This Ain't Texas. That's like fine. It's like fine, like pop country or whatever. That's not like some great song or something. It's not like the anthem that Pink Pony Club is or Hot to Go by any stretch of the imagination. It's like mid. I like Beyonce.
Oh,
I like a lot of her other stuff
gonna be on
way
transcripts.
more.
I gotta like step back from this,
I'm saying I like some of her other stuff way more than that song alone. I'm like, no. I'm like, no.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of see it being like this almost like trying to revision history, basically, of like there was all these times that Beyonce should have gotten a Grammy, right?
Right.
And they come back and they're like, okay, this is the time we're gonna do it.
Yeah, this is the time because now you're doing white person music. It's like we're not racist.
Yeah,
it's like when she does country music. It's like I feel like it's like how Leonardo DiCaprio won the best actor for The Revenant, which is like, sure, it's a great movie or whatever in that kind of way, but it's like, but there's other roles that it feels like he would have been, that he would have been the shoe-in for. That's like, man, what an incredible job, and then lost it, so it feels,
I mean, the awards,
like with Beyonce, Taylor Swift's gonna give it to her,
right? Like full circle moment. It's all just honestly like a huge political thing anyway. Like, do you have these like PR companies behind these artists that are just like literally lobbying whoever is like voting for the Grammys, for the nominees and stuff?
Yeah, is it like the Oscars like that?
It's like the Oscars, like well, because even with Chapel, like her album did not come out last year. It came out in 2023.
Yeah.
So if it had like been nominated for a Grammy, it should have been for last year's Grammys, but it didn't pick up any traction until June.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, like, I'm happy that she got the nomination. Don't get me wrong. I love Chapel so much, but I'm also like, Sabrina Carpenter literally topped every chart known to man last year.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
I don't care who you are. Espresso.
Espresso, like, summer,
literally big time.
Was
love it.
Literally everywhere. Constantly.
Love that song so much.
That's okay.
I don't care.
You don't have to.
I don't care who you are. It's that there's good song. That's a good pop song right there.
Sure. Well, that's what I mean. Even Sabrina Carpenter, I bet that I would, or I only listened to some of Brat, but from what I've heard, it's like I'm saying, just the song that I do know from Beyonce and that I've seen, it's like,
and
it's fine.
Yeah, and I feel like that way about Brat too. I was like, Brat's fine, but it's also not my cup of tea.
Thought that Brat was like a little overrated.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, you could.
But I think it's fun.
I think it's great, but you could even say that it's like Charlie XCX has done better before. But
I don't care. I love it.
But that's the thing with Beyonce. It's like maybe she should have had it before. That's so funny. I was just listening to an old podcast saying a guest comedian was making this joke about how he's like he's like, yeah, you ever get in a fight with your girlfriend, and as you're going through it, you suddenly realize, oh, this argument like is really about something else. He says, it's kind of funny, you know. I think that's what it was like when OJ. He's like, when OJ, he goes and he steals his memorabilia back, and then he goes to the judge, and they're like 30 years in prison. And he's like, oh, this isn't about stealing my jersey. It's about stealing my own memorabilia. This is about that other thing, huh? No, it's like the opposite direction, where it's like, you know what, we got to give Beyonce this. You know, it's like, because you're not just gonna wait for her to miss out on all these things and then give her some lifetime achievement award at some bullshit point in time. And so you got to give her something. But so anyway, let's see. They booed the national anthem at the Raptors game in Toronto. I did tweet Toronto. Sexy Mexican food, because you can't spell come inside me without cumin. But
that's true.
Okay,
yeah, that's true. Maybe that joke's got legs, you know.
But
we're brainstorm that.
They booed the national anthem. Did you see that in Toronto at the Raptors game? Mm-hmm. Pretty great. And I mean, like booed it. Like, it was pretty loud, pretty noticeable, pretty great. I hope that it can like pick up traction. I don't know if it's in Canada though. It's like, if only it can happen like in the United States, maybe eventually. We already had things with like people kneeling, and then controversies, and people like, I'm never watching the NFL again, and then blah blah blah, and then people talking about the national anthem, and it's like, can we get something done to the point where we just don't do the national anthem before sporting events? What's it gonna take before we stop doing this? It's fucking weird. It's a sporting event. Why do we do this? I don't
to bring in,
get it.
It's to bring in audiences. That's what they did it back in like the 40s or whatever, like sort of time,
a
and
light dimming thing, like to.
It is seriously. It was like a marketing thing. To like.
Oh, you mean like bring
seriously?
in audiences?
Yes.
Oh.
No, like that's what. If you look up the history of the national anthem being played in, like, before sporting events, it has like some sort of thing to do with that, like to do with that people, some sense of patriotism or whatever the time that they introduced it. That was a long time ago. That, because you know what I do? Because I'm a little bitch like that. I sit down during the national anthem. I don't stand up. I don't do anything. I sit down like a little pouty little. I sit there. Dad stands up at the Mariners game, and I'm like. I'm not going to.
I mean,
I'm an internet leftist.
Yeah, so I'm making a difference. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
No big deal.
I voted for the Party for Socialism and Liberation.
I've been a retired roller derby skater for 5 years, but I was the one singing the national anthem.
I wanted to sing the national anthem at a Storm game. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But, I still would. I still would.
It's cool.
Of course.
But
it's
just.
But yeah, so I'm not singing it. I'm sitting down for sure.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is so weird. It's very worshipful.
Yeah.
If you will.
I just don't get it.
And people putting their motherfucking hands on their motherfucking heart. I'm like, this is not a pledge, you idiots. This is, you're standing there, like, you can have like a sort of a sense of solemnity or of patriotism or whatever sort of feeling of community, whatever, you know, regardless of whose wins or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But don't put your hand on your heart, you fucking dork.
Yep.
Like,
and people started doing that.
Nope. No.
And then it was follow the leader till suddenly everyone started doing it. I swear to God, people didn't used to do that very often at all. Like, even like when we were kids, people didn't do it.
I grew up with people doing that. And I remember, I have a very, very specific memory of like 3rd grade of seeing someone not putting their hand on their heart. And I was like, what's wrong with them?
Oh, I just remember fewer people doing it.
Literally.
Yes.
That happened in my brain.
Yeah.
In my brain.
They hate America.
Propaganda.
I just remember being
hell of a drug.
Being taught, because I was in the Cub Scouts and being indoctrinated with all this stuff anyway, that it's like, that it's not, you're not you would be saluting the flag, like if you're in the armed services,
Like
or if you're in your goddamn Cub Scout uniform or something. Yeah, you'd be like a dork saluting the flag or something like that. But that's not a salute. Putting your hand on your heart is not a salute. So you don't do that. So it's like if you just take off your hat, raise your right hand. Now put your left hand here.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. And
Sit down!
okay, there we go. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But yeah,
feels like...
it's just I hope that something eventually catches on. I don't know. We need
Let's
to take
start
some
it here.
hostages at the beginning of a game or something like that.
You know what's a better song than our national anthem besides a lot of them? A lot of songs. Cowboy Carter.
Proud to be an American.
No.
Yeah, Apple by Charlie XCX.
No, I was gonna say America the Beautiful has like a lot. I think that's like would be a lot more fun of and uniting. And you hear some of them, you hear like Ray Charles version or whatever, and it's like, damn, this is like very moving. Like I'm like moved to tears, by this.
That's got a real like rodeo vibe to it.
America the Beautiful.
Yeah, it's true.
That's God Bless the USA, which, as we learned on John Oliver, that made me laugh so fucking hard. God Bless the USA, by Lee Greenwood. And I'm proud to be an American.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I knew what you were talking about.
But he wrote another one exactly like that for Canada. Literally the same song with Canada replaced from the forests of Nova Scotia or whatever the fuck he says, to the this and that over there. It's like, what? Canada? Are you joking? And I'm proud to be a Canadian. Where at least I know I'm free.
And just like...
legit, and recorded it.
Probably
it's just like
more
that.
free.
Free
They
to do
fucking
what you
fought in
want.
World War II just like we did.
Yeah. Free to do what you want and not worry about your ambulance bill or whatever.
Yeah.
And not worry about your kid getting
Uber
shot
to
in
the
school.
hospital. Yeah. Yeah, true. Man, I went to an event. I just got all pissy. I got so pissy. Being just a grumpy old white guy. I went to the Toyota Center on Saturday, and of course, you get herded through the fucking metal detectors and all this stuff going in, and they're like, all right, and you empty your pockets and stuff, and I empty my pockets, and they're like, well, you can't have that, and I realized I was like, oh, that's right, I have a pocket knife on my keychain, because it's handy. And it's like, what am I going to do with this? Good God. But they're like, you can't have this and you can't have your vape in here. I'm like, what? What am I going to do? They're like, you can't have it. Either we throw it away or you're going to have to go put it back in your car. I'm like, what? I wish I'd known that. And she's like, it's all over the website. It's been like that for 2 years. It's like, well, I've brought it in with me to every Americans game I've gone to. I don't know how.
Did you tell her that?
I said that. Yeah. But
that's what I like to say to people.
Yeah, I was just like
I guess.
Well, I brought it in with me every time. No one ever told me anything before. But I was like, and no, you're not going to throw it away. We're going back to the car. Sorry, Sophia. I guess you get to be embarrassed with your dad. But, and go back and put my vape away. Although I told her, I was like, so what should I do? Should I go to grab a bunch more stuff from the car and stuff it in my pocket so I fill up the trays when I have to empty my pockets again? Go to the same lady. And I was telling her, though, I was just like, that's the funny thing. Didn't used to be like this. You didn't have to empty your pockets to go to a fucking Harlem Globetrotters game at the Toyota Center in Kennewick, Washington. What is the point here? Like I had to take my tiny little pocket knife off of my key ring for my car. Like, what do you think is happening here? It's like, we had just talked about on the podcast a few weeks ago the fact that I've taken that on airplanes and the TSA doesn't even catch it. Like, because it's on my key ring.
If it's under 2 inches, it doesn't matter.
Well, that's not what they tell
said.
Me. But that's after.
If it's under 2 inches, it doesn't count.
Yeah, that's after the Tinder date that doesn't go well, and I don't get a second one. But yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. I just felt like such a grumpy boomer. For one thing, I was like, "Wow, what are you talking about?" Blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's like, what do you? I don't want to blame you sitting up at the front, although the lady was a bitch about it. Well, it's all over the website. Well, I didn't go to your website. I bought tickets on Ticketmaster and showed up here. There's no sign. There's no nothing. Fuck you.
But yeah, and what does the terms and conditions say of your iPhone purchase, bitch? Shut up. It's all over there too. But did you read it?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's like, what am I like? If there's no vaping allowed, I'm not gonna vape. I'm not gonna vape in the middle of the fucking Toyota Center. It's just something I keep in my pocket.
That's
what are you
so
talking
crazy.
about? It's like, good God.
It's like being like, you can't bring your pack of smokes in. It's like,
yeah.
What am I gonna light up?
Can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, exactly. I don't know. It's like, what are you afraid is gonna happen? It's gonna blow up in my pocket, or are you afraid that I'm gonna vape in the place? I don't know. But yeah. Because
then you just
so
fucking kick me
strange how
out.
like just the entire idea. Because my first thought is just like, all this stuff didn't happen before, pre-2001 or blah, 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 and none of it even matters anymore. But also, then it's like, but it's not 9/11, post 9/11 America. It's just that we constantly live in a world of mass shootings. And people are just shooting up the place. It's like, and you know what? It's kind of analogous to the TSA not preventing 9/11s either, as well, because we're hurting people through metal detectors all the time at nonsensical things like Harlem Globetrotter games that are only at 36% capacity from the looks of it, and people are still getting shot to death constantly. It's like, what are we preventing here? What, people empty their pockets at the entrance? Are you really preventing mass shootings here? What is your job?
Just gotta make sure you don't have your tiny gun in there.
Yeah, exactly. Who are you helping? You're just,
because it's not working.
Exactly.
People.
It's like,
she's working. She has a job for sure. So
I know. I was gonna say, it's like, you probably don't like doing this.
Oh, she probably had that conversation like 150 times before you came up there.
Oh my God, I would hate it.
And every single one was probably just as pissed as you were.
Oh yeah.
Are you serious? I have to throw my vape away. Are you kidding me right now?
Exactly. Well, I didn't read that anywhere.
I'd be pissed too.
I hate that shit
not gonna
though.
lie, but
going to like Whammy and whatever, you have to have these clear bags.
Yeah.
I get so annoyed with that bullshit at like the raves or whatever, and it's like you go through a metal detector, so if you got a gun on you, you're not going to get it through.
Well, they're not
that's
worried
what the
about
metal
guns.
detector that you have, and it's like you're worried about drugs, so you're just going to serve people till they throw up and are like sexually assaulting people in the audience. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I wish. Too bad, it's like it would have been a really huge problem if I did a tiny little bit of blow while I was at this club or whatever, while you have like people like throwing up and, being drunk, which is the worst possible thing you can do when you're like a group of people is like being really drunk or everyone's way too high on acid and nobody is going to, we're not all doing acid.
Yeah.
But it just makes it so much less fun. Like it's so much less fun to go to an experience and have to go through all of that bullshit.
It's an immediate
and
downer to start.
It's a real downer, and it is like you're saying, it's like doesn't really seem to help that much. I feel like are we focusing our efforts in the wrong area because we still have so many gun deaths and all this kind of stuff. A pocket knife, it's like, guys,
yeah,
what is this? Like, what is this about?
I wasn't gonna bring a pocket knife to a gunfight anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's like as far as I know, since whatever you're doing here isn't going to stop a mass shooting, you should probably let me keep my pocket knife in case I need to like protect myself and my child. Maybe even protect you.
Yeah.
Because I don't see you bringing a pocket knife to work to help yourself. So it's like, I might need to
you can't
help
have
you
a
out
gun
before you make it to the employee break room and barricade the door, because that's just the life that we all live now, but it's like, man, I don't know. It's just all seems so futile before it gets feudal, because that is the life that we live now. It's just
because it doesn't have to be like this. Because you know what? I watched this Michael Costa thing from The Daily Show, like way back when it came out, however many years ago that was, where he goes to Switzerland and they have this huge gun culture there. Yeah. They love guns. Mm-hmm. Like they have these competitions
real
with
gun
like
nuts, huh?
ARs, and like young kids are like in these gun clubs and stuff. and they have like the former prime minister or president or whatever the fuck they got over there hanging out at this gun show. People
The grand
all around him with
potentate,
like
I think, with
big
Switzerland.
old guns. Nobody's really afraid. Everybody, it's like, Michael Costa is like, hey, geez. And they're like, well, it's not loaded. What are you, crazy?
you-
like,
what are you,
like,
an
what are you afraid
American?
of? Like, we're, yeah. It was really like so many big guns around and people being, like so respectful in a totally different like culture. It's like we slob on the knob of these AKs and they're like, guys, whoa, what are you going to have like a bumper sticker of your gun? What
Yeah.
are you doing? Join a
yeah.
gun club and like understand
Keep
that
it
this
in the
is
bedroom.
for, it's like a sport thing, like archery for them or whatever. It's like, these are not, they're not like all obsessed with like self-defense or like being a hero or anything. It's like, this is a big, powerful thing that you can be really accurate with. It's like an Olympic sport, shooting or whatever.
Yeah.
You can, there's like some people find it fun or whatever.
It's like if you got
And
into drift
it's not like-
cars, And
Yeah.
you do it like out at the track.
As
and you
Americans,
have
we
to be
do
safe
everything
with it.
wrong.
It's like you're not just gonna go do it in a neighborhood around kids. What are you, crazy? Yeah.
I know. And just like, it just is like, it really doesn't have to be like this because it's not like this. It's not like this everywhere. Like, it just isn't. Like, it's like, that it's, it does exist differently. Like, we don't have to live like this.
Well,
We're
what is
forced
the,
to.
the evergreen? Let's see. We could have prevented. Oh my gosh, this. No way to prevent this, says the only nation where this regularly happens. From The Onion. That's the evergreen
Oh,
thing.
There you go. Exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
what is that?
Coming in clutch.
The United States is the only economically advanced nation in the world where roughly 2 mass shootings have occurred every month for the past 8 years. And that recurring Onion headline thing that's used as a meme because we're so desensitized at this point to people just being shot to death in public. Bless you, Danae.
As
no
our
way to
religious
prevent
correspondent, bless you.
this. Yeah, yes. Yeah, you're like, no, bless you.
And God with you as well.
Yeah. But it has its own Wikipedia article. It's the recurring headline of articles published by the American news satire organization The Onion after mass shootings in the United States. The articles satirize and lament the country's failure, unique among developed countries, to prevent gun violence. It's got three citations there.
We
Oh
are
my
number one
God.
in some things. So.
But yeah, a fictitious
we
resident,
are.
usually of a state in which the shooting did not take place, is quoted as saying that the shooting was, quote, a terrible tragedy, but there's nothing anyone can do to stop them. Yeah. Americans view themselves in the situation as helpless. Yep, that is some dark satire. That's some good stuff right there from The Onion.
They do it right.
Man, oh man. Yeah, at The Onion, they're just constantly thinking.
Everyone is stupid except me.
And they're right. But yeah, who knows
Wow.
when any of that will ever change. I mean,
I think as soon as they start using the guns against the government.
yeah. Well, I mean, they definitely introduced some gun control measures in California and stuff like that after the Black Panther Party. Very proudly open carried, assault rifles, stuff like that. Knew their rights, and constitutional
we
law.
gotta change that.
Things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Someone like Ronald Reagan was not
Oh, Ronnie Reagan.
not very good with that. He didn't like black people. That's what he didn't like. Yeah. That's I
Yeah.
think that's what
And he
it
liked
is.
government regulation when it suited his
Yeah.
racist needs.
As-
He was like put down gun control. I mean, like they enacted strict gun control because of that, and then he's all like, "Oh, government isn't the answer," except for
I'm
when it
from
comes
the
to controlling
government and
black
I'm
people.
here kill you, Mr. Black person, because I'm
Speaking of California,
as soon as a black person was quoting the Constitution, Ronald Reagan be like,
"Suck me from the back."
Oh crap! I said
the Constitution can suck me from the back.
That's what I.
Nice.
Dang it!
Yeah. I feel like this is, speaking of Californians, what I got up over here is the NYP, the best journalistic.
Is it about the protests in California? Because I went to a protest.
No, it's actually about. It's not about the protests. It's about the wildfires, and it's they're saying because of government red tape that it's going to take 1.5 years for people to rebuild because of the removal of the EPA and all this kind of stuff. That's the article, and it's like whatever. Sure. Also, there's like a lot of homes. There's like really devastating, hugely. There's like 12,000 buildings. So then I'm reading the comments, of course. Because they're being like, this is the government's fault. It's this red tape. So they're just like really pretty fucking heartless. I mean, like in the comments here, the New York Post never fails. Man, I can always rely on them. This is what he's saying. They love to be miserable. Normal people wouldn't put up with waiting 18 months. I'm done feeling sorry for Californians. And it's like, damn.
Wow,
damn,
like
they just
run-of-the-mill liberal.
What are they supposed to do? You hate when they come to your state, like.
And
what?
it's like you're talking about people's like their homes just burnt down, guys. Like in a huge raging inferno of a wildfire that took up blocks and blocks, city blocks, homes, communities, totally leveled. And you're like, I'm done feeling sorry for them. It's like, and what did you feeling sorry for them ever do for them anyways? Fucking fine print.
Are they asking for your sympathy? What are you writing this article for anyway?
That was one of the comments.
Oh that's right. Oh, it's a comment. That's right.
Yeah, that's the article was like whatever.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
if it's
just
a
trying
comment, I'll tell you what. I lost my house to a fire, and that's right. Some people definitely don't care that you lose your house if they're commenting on the internet.
Yeah, it is, and then, okay, so this guy's quoting the article. It says, a federal program will pay contractors to haul away the rubble at no cost to residents, but they'll have to work through layers of bureaucracy, including the Los Angeles County government, the Federal Army Corps of Engineers, and the Environmental Protection Agency to get it done. And the commenter says, all paid for by U.S. taxpayers, so how can they claim it's no cost? It's like, because they're not asking people whose houses just burnt down to pay out of pocket for the debris removal of this wildfire that got out of control and burnt their entire neighborhood to the ground.
Yeah.
You piece of shit. What are you saying? What are you nitpicking here? Why did you go out of your way to leave this comment? What is wrong with you? Like,
what are you doing?
What is the point?
David Jones?
What is the point of having a government? What is the point of having a government?
And
if we can't even get a bare minimum of them cleaning up a mess.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, because there's more than
and that's like
a neighborhood or a community isn't just
exactly.
Yeah, and it isn't just separate little plots of land. They're all connected. They're all connected by these streets. And if you want to like even just be all weird and technical about it and stuff, it's like, okay, you want an answer? It's like there's these streets, there's these easements and all these things in between each property, and all this fell from different things that are actually covered by the local governments and stuff, and some of these are by the county and all this. It's like all of these like literally, legally, and technically are in this together. So it's like people's insurance and the city government, and probably some things that are taken care of by grants from the state government and stuff. It's like, so just shut the fuck up, man, and let people should be taken care of here, because it's like this stuff, like all this land that's just sitting around there being taken care of by people. It doesn't just sit there in a vacuum, just existing. Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't get it. Like, what do they think would happen if this happened to their entire neighborhood? Like, what do you think happens if, like, suddenly a sinkhole just collapses your entire fucking cul-de-sac that I'm sure you live in if you're commenting on the New York Post with some bullshit like that. You know, like, what? You are you not gonna give me some fucking sass back if we expect you to take care of this? It's like it happened right in front of your house and collapsed all through up into your front yard, and all this stuff disappeared into the sinkhole. Well, you fucking take care of it. This is your property. Yeah, right. Okay.
That seems fair, right? That's America. Just figure it out your fucking self after something devastating happened that you had literally no control over whatsoever, you know? And also, these motherfuckers, so there's also in this article, they talk about scam artists. Like, this is going to be like a tough time, like contractors and people, like, it's just the opportunity for people like that is really landlords really jacking the rent prices up. So they say California has a law. You can't raise rent more than 10% in these times of emergencies or whatever.
Should just be.
So this comment.
Anytime, but
sure,
whatever.
Of course. But it's like, so raising prices in times of emergency, homes are gone, by 10% is okay? Is there no common sense in California? It's like, bitch, do you know how probably difficult that was to even do because of people like every other person in these fucking comments, because they won't let you regulate landlords at all? Do you know how hard that kind of stuff can be to push through, like rent capping and like those kinds of things? At least there's that. And it's like, so what do you want? So do you want the government to help, or do you want them to not? What is your play here? Do you want them to say you can't raise rents, or do you want them like to be not involved and have people just do this on their own? What do you want from your government? Why are they here for you?
Why do the people
it just feels like there's no winning.
Why do the people who talk about common sense never want to talk about common decency? Like, that should be just as
what's a common decency?
You know, have some common fucking decency, all right? And you know what? Common decency as a concept actually exists a lot more in my mind than common sense. Common sense is like a bad thing, honestly. Common sense is groupthink.
It's common here in America. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, common sense is like not real. Common sense like isn't a good thing. Like, I mean, in a way, it's like, it's just, well, yeah, that's just common sense. It's like, oh, so it's just what you think without actually learning something. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's common sense. Well, yeah, you don't even have to think about it. It's common sense. It's just what people know. It's like, that doesn't sound very good. But
also, it's just not real.
Yeah, like, exactly. It's not a real thing.
That's socially
It's
learned
just socially reinforced
behavior.
things that so often need to be unlearned. Common sense isn't a good thing. But common decency is actually formed through these social norms that are meant to be there to have us be nicer to each other, to be decent. Like, that's what it is. But you know.
Well, one guy says, when you elect tree-hugging communists, this is what you get. Karma.
What?
It's like,
karma for what?
It's because you elected
that's what you deserve.
Communists.
You know what?
You should just burn to the ground.
All of your entire neighborhood. Fuck all these kids' belongings, and they're have to go through this traumatic event. That's what you guys deserve. Fuck you.
This is your fault for liking sunshine.
Yeah.
This is your fault for being born in California.
For liking sunshine in the sunshine state. No.
And then when someone does make a comment, Bubby Johnson over here, he's saying what you're saying. He said, well, the property boundaries have to be surveyed and established. The debris, if hazardous, needs to be disposed of properly, etc. Do you want them to just make a big hole and dump it or ship it out to sea? So yeah, doing the right way takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So his name's Bubby Johnson, and so what the comment is, okay, Bubby, can we call you Bubbles?
What?
Good
cool
one.
comeback.
Burn!
Cool comeback, you fucking
man.
boomer ass
Oh!
bitch.
Man,
Yeah.
that guy was thinking about that in the shower afterwards. He's like, I fucking got that guy.
I nailed that guy.
I got that guy.
He was thinking about it in his
He's gonna lose sleep for sure.
his sweaty wife beater stained shirt or whatever, some dumpy middle-aged It's like I saw that on Instagram. It's always the pregnant man who has a problem. These big gutted older white guys that are like always causing problems. They're like, that's this guy, Ghost Cad.
It's just because
Can
they're
we call you
lonely,
Bubbles?
okay?
I just had on Twitter just yesterday, someone was just like, "Yeah, while we're at it, can we just get rid of this emoji already?" And it was the pregnant man emoji, and and someone and people were like, "Why? Who cares? You just want to complain about something." And someone was like, "I want Tim Cook." He's like, "I want Tim Cook to explain to me what went through their mind when they made and approved of something like this." And I said, "Why? What are you gonna do with that explanation?"
Yeah,
and he was
I
just
didn't
never
even know there
answered. I'm
was
like,
one.
"Why? What do you need to do with
Just
this
need him to
information?
explain.
What is your
And
deal?"
you can't even really tell if you're looking at it. It's like, how do you know that's just not a woman with short hair?
Technically,
you don't see a
it is
penis.
it's in the Unicode system. It is labeled and it is known as pregnant man. That's what it is. So, and that's what it is. Who cares? I mean, that's what it is. So, and it's either,
use it
it
now.
can be a
I
trans
didn't even
man
know
that's
it was there.
pregnant, or it can be a guy saying like, "Oh,
bear
Thanksgiving dinner, man," and you send that emoji. You need it.
Or
it's a necessary
maybe
emoji.
maybe it's a woman saying, "I'm pregnant, man."
Yeah.
That's
I'm pregnant, man, and I'm a pregnant man. It's the next woman Kanye West, pretty much.
Ooh, yeah, that sounded like some beat poetry.
Speaking of the Grammys, good God, I don't know.
Are we going back? We're going back to the Grammys?
Well, it's about time to
we're
wrap
out of
it
time
up,
now.
But
finish where we started.
We could have had
with...
an entire conversation about female agency and Bianca Censori or whatever her name is, and what she wore to the Grammys with Kanye. Have you seen that?
I saw people talking about it, but I did not
She's
see
just
photos.
Nude. Literally.
Nice. Hell yeah.
What's her last name again?
Well, just say Kanye Grammys. It'll come up.
If you start saying Bianca, she comes right up.
But first one.
Although someone,
so you can just see through her dress.
Yeah, no, and it's not just like a sheer dress; it's
just
anything. Transparent. I mean, she's just nude. But
that's what I pretty much wore for Halloween.
Yeah,
so, I love that.
I guess I'm pretty much like an Italian supermodel or whatever she is.
But and she's worn stuff like that a lot out with Kanye. I've seen it a few times. Although this is like the most transparent thing I've seen. I was like, Jesus, criminy,
I mean, you can go to a museum and see naked people.
No, titties like that. I like this. I like her more than the museum ones. No,
but titties are titties.
Yeah, but the I did see one funny comment though, where someone's like. And they get their picture taken, and as she took off her coat and she has that transparent dress on, and then she kept kind of like pulling the hem down, and someone's like, "Why are you even fidgeting with that?" It's like there's nothing there. It's just like kind of like
it's uncomfortable
for comfort. Yeah, it's just like because it's still there. It's still a dress. It's kind of funny. It's like you can't even see it. It was kind of funny to me. But a lot of this back and forth about so many people. Because of how Kanye, it feels, of course, like he trots her out like this constantly in just nothing, wearing nothing. But so often, and I agree with this, it's like, why are we not just like talking about whether this woman wants to wear these clothes that she is wearing out? Like, no one talks about, like, I don't think I've ever even heard a quote from her. But Kanye West is a very strange person. Who knows? I mean, he's literally a schizophrenic, Nazi-loving nitrous addict. So I don't know what his relationship is like.
With agency that has a career of her own and is like a grown-ass woman, not like she didn't like grow up with him as like a father figure and he's like taking advantage of her in that way. Like she's a grown woman. Yeah. And you know what? A lot of that conversation, that I feel like there is something to be said, but it's also like people slut shaming. I feel like that's a way. It's like, you know what? For one thing, free the fucking nipple, guys. Free the fucking nipple. It shouldn't even be a problem at all to see women's breasts. Men go shirtless. Men go jackets with nothing underneath it all the time. So leftists, shut the fuck up about her titties. You should be on board with the nipple being out. That's my thing. And so it's nudity. I feel like what I always say, there are people who are nudists. Are they just under the thumb of the patriarchy or whatever? Or people who are exhibitionists, or she loves her body. She's literally a fucking model.
Yeah.
That's what she does. Maybe some exposure. Maybe she doesn't really mind being naked because she's a model.
Yeah.
You know, she's been naked in front of a lot of people because that's what, not every shoot, like, but you're getting undressed and you're doing this, you're like very comfortable in your skin that way. I would totally do that. I would totally go naked. I have literally for Halloween, I was trying to go as naked as possible. And I just didn't really want to sit on something with like literally my pussy on something. Yes. Like it would be.
That's what she had. See, that's what you needed. Was that it was a cover like that. Yeah, that dress that literally
I just don't see a problem.
Doesn't even show up on camera.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't see a problem with it at all.
The difference between you and her, Nat, is you would be there smiling and having a good time.
True.
I think people are like worried because she looks like she's
Kanye.
She's a model. They don't. Kim Kardashian, she did that before and after. You know why bitches do that? That's because of the patriarchy saying you ugly with your smile lines and stuff. That's why models and Kim Kardashian types do that, because they want to keep their skin. They don't want like any sort of extreme feature because they want to photograph like that. Yeah. They want to photograph just like it's they don't want to be making any sort of goofy like face. They're like, Kim Kardashian, you're not going to be catching her doing like a big old like
that's
kind
true.
of thing or anything. They're like, you know, like that. And I feel like she has agency. She has a job. She's not hard up for money or whatever. You know, I would say that she knew about Kanye's been all over the fucking news with his schizophrenic Nazi breakdowns. Who cares? This woman is dating someone who said, I love Hitler. She wants to show off her titties. Why is that shocking to anyone?
Yeah.
This is Kanye. I love Hitler. And people, I mean, just like,
There's
she knew that.
drop.
That was before they were dating or whatever. And so I feel like it's like leftist kind of slut shaming a little bit with the titties, especially.
And it's not just leftist. I'd say in general too, but I mean, but some on the left. And generally, what's nice is that I have seen some of this pushback from like my friends on the left and stuff like that, which is like, hey, are we gonna like listen to this person? I mean, she's a person. Like, have you considered this woman's agency at all in this? Like, she could just be choosing to do it for your reasons, or she could just be a weirdo like Kanye too. Who knows? Maybe she's a Nazi lover that's trying to get attention. Who knows? You know,
she's naked at the Emmys or the Grammys. Of course, she wants attention.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like,
so it's like,
but
yeah. So it was just an interesting thing because I mean, Twitter is all over the place. People are like, are we just watching this woman getting sex trafficked in front of us and no one's doing anything about it? It's constant. It's constant with this poor woman. The way that people are just projecting all these things onto her. And like I said, with all these conversations about her being in this relationship with Kanye, I don't know what her voice sounds like. I don't think I've ever read a quote from her. So, yeah. But anyway, well, let's wrap it up.
Keep guessing.
Let's see. It's time for us to
shut up.
Okay. But and I don't know if we should announce it on the show. I said on Twitter we'd have a big surprise coming up. It'll be really fun. Should we? Do you think it's a done deal, Natalie?
I think everyone should definitely tune in next week. Because we do these live. I don't know if you guys are listening to this live. You know, chat, where you at?
This is live.
Yeah, we're on Twitch right now.
It's live for us.
Yeah, and if you don't listen to the next episode,
you're
That's
so
embarrassing for
selfish and stupid when you do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
You truly are a head bonked individual.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I'm gonna cut that one out that Danae said too. It's embarrassing.
Sorry.
No, no, I'm gonna cut it out as a drop. Is what I'm saying. No.
Oh yeah, I'll say it again for you later.
Oh, I get the individual audio tracks. So.
Oh right. Nice.
Okay. Well, love you guys. Love you listeners. Shout out to
R.M. Brown.
R.M. Brown. All of the those few people that are going on YouTube and giving a thumbs down to some of our videos.
You're ugly. You're
Thank
disgusting. I'm going to kill you.
I hope you get ass cancer and die, you son of a bitch.
And that's how we're ending on a very good note. No. But anyway.
Yeah.
Bitches leave.
Thanks.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, say cat.